Hey guys, welcome to another New World video. So a new patch has dropped for the PTR, and there are some things in it that are huge, and I think you will need to prepare before this thing goes live. So let's get into it and see what we are looking at. So 44 minutes ago, a PTR patch dropped. It's patch 2. So PTR backstory changes. Playster's bags have had their gear score significantly increased, providing players with a lot more inventory space. Playster gear containers have had their weight removed. However, we still advise only opening containers that you need in order to prevent immediately overpopulating your inventory with unnecessary items. The Playster Vial of Azoth item now grants Azoth as expected. That was a huge pain having it not work for the last couple weeks. World Experience. Fast Travel. New fast travel shrines have been unearthed. So basically they've added fast travel shrines to every one of the expedition entrances, which is nice. Expedition AI. Blighted Greenskeeper reworked the visual effects on the Blighted Greenskeeper to be more visible to players. World PTR fixes and additions. Fixed an issue where Festering 2 still allow players to be healed at 20 stacks. Fixed an issue where some enemies are not being counted for scoring purposes in mutated expeditions. Fixed an issue where a negative mutator score appears to grant positive mutator rankings. So that'll stop. I've seen a few streams where people were progressing even in the negatives. Fixed an issue where AI do not gain the benefits of empowered buffs while in mutated expeditions. Fixed an issue where players can avoid the starting line of Dynasty Shipyard. Fixed an issue where damage over time effects activated Paranoia. Fixed a crash that occurs during final boss encounter of the Dynasty Shipyard. Fixed an issue where players are able to go AFK in Outpost Rush and avoid being kicked. Fixed an issue where players cannot complete major corrupted portal events in Monarch's Bluffs. Fixed an issue where camps are not upgraded when you level and or quest requirements are met. Fixed an issue where players were unable to turn in faction missions. Quest missions and fixes. Okay, so these fixes were already in the last one. Combat. Outpost Rush game mode. All of these changes were also in the last patch notes. Notable fixes. Fixed an issue where various status effect removals were resulting in a buff applying indefinitely. Fixed an issue where the bow concussion ultimate was applying to all attacks and not just headshots. Fixed an issue where mending protection wasn't functioning properly. To fix the issue, the following changes were made. Updated mending protection to be able to be applied by any orb of protection heal, even the recovery form Protector's Blessing. To compensate for that, the duration has been shortened, and the effect of it has been reduced. Previously, it was 5% to 40% for 5 seconds. That only applied as the ability was initially used. Now it is 5% to 25% for 3 seconds, but that duration can be refreshed with each tick of recovery and additional applications of Orb of Protection. Fixed an issue where the Great Axe Reap ability was not dealing damage when both the Collector modifier and the Gravity passive were unlocked. Fixed an issue that was prevalent in the PTR where the Void Gauntlet's cooldown reduction was being triggered by dot ticks. Fixed an issue where players were able to jump cancel the bow firing recovery. There is now a 10 frame delay from when an arrow is released before a jump can be triggered. Fixed a permanent disease and slow being applied in PvP. Fixed bug that did not allow Ancient Bear Paw to be used in crafting. Endgame Game Update Part 2 and Umbral Upgrade System. General enhancements, quality of life improvements. We addressed an issue where Gypsum casts were only providing +1 bonuses when opening above gear score 585 for an item. Now upgrades from Gypsum casts from 585 to 600 should be at least +2, except when the expertise is 599. So here's where things get interesting and why I wanted to bring you guys this update. The economy, progression, and rewards. Housing tax. For full context, once this patch goes to live, the following conditions will be applied, as make good for players impacted by the server clock issues experienced on November 2021. We reduced the housing tax costs for all players by 90% based on tax percent set by companies that own the territories. We communicated with that change that we would revert those tax breaks in a future update, which is now. In the time the tax break has been active, however, it has brought to light an imbalance in wealth disparity which was punishing for homeowners, and as such have decided to tighten the housing tax band. We will continue to examine player reception and data around this issue. We are adjusting them going forward to be more fair for the homeowners and companies. We are focused on evaluating and continually tuning the overall wealth distribution and impact of the territory tax system. In this patch, we have reverted the make good 90% housing tax reduction, updated housing tax minimum band to 2.5%, down from 5%, updated housing tax minimum band to 10%, down from 20%, updating default housing tax to 5%, down from 10%. Aptitude rewards. This is a big one, guys. With the introduction of trade skill aptitudes, we imbalanced the gain of Azoth vials, which made them too plentiful, and the excess of these items for some players was causing damage to their overall value of Azoth vials as a reward. Since these can be traded, we want to make sure they stay rare and special. We will continue to watch player sentiment and data here to see if further adjustments are needed. They removed the Azoth vials from Tier 1 Aptitude Gathering chests, reduced Azoth vials from Tier 2 Aptitude Gathering chests down to 1 to 2 from 2 to 3. They reduced the Azoth vials from Tier 3 Aptitude Gathering chests to 1 to 3 down from 3 to 5. Reduced Azoth vials from Tier 1 Aptitude Crafting and Refining chests to 0 to 1 down from 2 to 3. Reduced Azoth vials from Tier 2 Aptitude Crafting and Refining chests to 1 to 2 down from 2 to 3. And reduced Azoth vials from Tier 3 Aptitude Crafting and Refining chests to 2 to 3 down from 3 to 5. And rewards. Fixed a bug where players under level 60 were able to get gypsum from darkness events. Players must be level 60 now to start earning gypsum from these events. The Surgeon, the Pit Lord Dahi, Baines, and Mordecai the Mortician previously did not drop battle trophies. This has been fixed, so they now drop them. Crafting. Fixed an issue where timeless shards were not being consumed while crafting. Fixed an issue causing the Maker's Mark hatchet to incorrectly display as legendary with an extra perk in the crafting menu. Updated art for Energizing Light Ration and Energizing Travel Ration to better represent the ingredients used to create them. Fixed a bug that was preventing players from crafting Gear Score 600 Arcana items using winter patterns. Gear and Loot. Fixed an issue where certain 600 Gear Score named items were increasing your expertise. So this answers your question, guys, that you've been asking me. Will crafting the named 600 Gear Score items that you get from artifacts increase your expertise? And I believe this answers it with a firm no. Fixed an issue where the Lazarus bow had less dexterity than other bows at its tier and gear score. It now has an equivalent amount of dexterity. Fixed an issue where the earring pedal could not be repaired. Fixed an issue with the Wheel of Time skin, Edwin's cloak, where it would stretch in certain animations. Progression. Sped up leveling for the mid-game levels of 23 to 45 by 20%. We saw that mid-game leveling was taking a bit long and did not match pacing of the content we had, so we sped it up mid-game progression by 20%. Expedition Tuning Orbs. Materials used to craft expedition keys, chisels, and corrupted fragments, shards, crystals, and lodestones are now tradable. So this was intended, for anybody who was wondering, we had all noticed it on the PTR, but they had never mentioned it. Expedition Mutator Tuning Orbs can now be crafted once per week, and also have been added to the faction shops and can be purchased there once a week as well. So there is a cooldown on purchasing them, which is once a week. Now that's answered as well. To keep parity with Expedition Mutator Tuning Orbs, normal Expedition Tuning Orbs for the Dynasty Shipyard, Garden of Genesis, and Lazarus Instrumentality have been added to the faction shops and can each be purchased also once a week. That's pretty awesome. To reduce the cost of all the items in inventory, taking durability damage on death, we made a change that only bound items take durability damage on death. I mean, that's not exactly what we wanted. It would be nice if the items in your bag that you weren't wearing wouldn't take damage, but, I mean, it's a step in the right direction. On the PTR, a cooldown was accidentally applied to the Covenant Faction Shop's chunk of consecrated iron, instead of the mutated Expedition Tuning Orb. This has been corrected. And then there's some in-game store changes, trading post changes. Fixed an issue causing the trading post's sort by time function to function incorrectly. It will now properly sort by time since an item has been sold instead of alphanumerically. Inventory should no longer scroll back to the top after closing the sell window. So that's it. The rest of these fixes under notable fixes are small bug changes and changes to music playing longer than it should and stuff like that. That was in previous patch notes. The only one that I really am excited about is fixed an issue that sometimes caused corrupt breach icons to not appear on the map. This has been plaguing a lot of people I know. They don't see the corrupt portals on the map ever. So it's glad to see that one's getting fixed. Anything else that's really important? Just some added sounds and stuff. Nothing really important. Well, that was the changes today in the PTR, and you might want to prepare before this one goes live. With the Azoth vials being removed from the Aptitude crates, and reduced greatly in some cases, we may see them going up in price again very soon. So hold on to them, or stock up on them if you don't have any. You may regret it later if you don't. Anyway guys, that's about all I wanted to cover. What do you guys think? Good changes? Bad changes? I am interested to hear how the community is taking it, so let me know in the comments. Okay guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.